What's up, guys? I'm out walking my dog after a long day of calls here. This is Edna. There she is. And as I'm walking her, I'm just reflecting on the last call that I had, and I'm just, frankly, I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off at small business owners. Like, come on, guys! Like, got on yet another call. Come on, Edna. And he doesn't realize that the financials are an extension of his process, right? And in that process, it really starts with a vision. And this guy had no vision, nothing. When I asked him what he wanted to do in his business, like what his goals were, what his vision was, uh, he said, I don't know, I just want to grow. And I was like, okay, like growing is not a vision, right? Like, can you be more specific? And he's like, I don't know, like maybe like get to $10 million one day. And I'm like, okay. There's a great book called The Four Disciplines of Execution by a guy named Chris McKesney. And he gives a great framework in his book, right? And the framework is from X to Y by when. And so in this case, it would be, I want to grow from 3 million to 10 million in the next 36 months. And that's still not a great vision statement, but it's a hell of a lot better than I want to grow. So once you figure out what the goal is, then you got to write it down, because if it's not written down, it's BS, and you know it. You got to get your Sharpie out, go to Walgreens, buy yourself a poster board, and make a big sign that you hang on your office or someplace where everybody's going to see it and hold you accountable to it. And it's got the goal on it, right? It's got your vision statement, it's got the goal, and then we can actually, get down to business and do some real work. And so this is where, once you have your goal, once you have your vision for what you want to accomplish, what the business is going to look like, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now, whatever it is, then somebody like me can come in and help you take that BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal, and break it down into smaller bite-sized pieces, right? That's literally all we do for you. It sounds cliche, but it's true. How do you eat the elephant? One bite at a time. So you break that 36-month goal down into 1-year chunks, and then you break that 1-year chunks down into 4 quarters, and then you break each of those quarters down into a month, and then even the months. We take the months and we break them down into weeks. And I think that this is probably the biggest difference between having a fractional CFO or someone like myself working with you and consulting with you in your businesses. A lot of people will make a year budget and then that's kind of it, right? And that fractional CFO is going to go really deep. I talk to my clients all the time about their 168. So you say, Josh, what is a 168? There's 168 hours in a week, right? And I mean, that's 168 hours in the whole week. Okay. Well, what are your priorities? Well, first you got to sleep, right? You got to sleep for 8 hours. Sleep is for performance, right? My wife runs a performance coaching business called Victory Performance. And every day she's talking to athletes and high performers and executives about the importance of sleep. If you don't sleep well, you're not going to bring your A game to work or to your sport or to whatever. And so it all starts with sleep and actually programming that sleep. Okay, so now you get 8 hours of sleep. That's 58 or 56 hours that goes towards bringing your A game, right? So now you got 100 and some change left, right? Well, what's your next priority? Next priority for me is family time, right? If you don't prioritize it and you don't put it on the calendar, then you're choosing to prioritize your work over your spouse and over your kids and everything else, and that's okay if that's your priority. But if it's not your priority and it's not the agreed upon values, uh, then that's a problem, right? I see all the time. I talk to business owners who mess that up, right? And their spouse definitely isn't on board with them prioritizing the business over their relationship with their spouse and their relationship with their kids, right? Don't be that business owner. If your family is higher in priority than your business, which it should be, a little free chicken there for you, then block it in first, right? Put that on your calendar before somebody else puts something else that's not as important to you as your spouse and your kids in there. And now you've got these other obligations. You can't be where you need to be. Okay, enough of that. So, once you've figured that out and you know what the right amount of time is for family, now you know what's left over for the business. And it really should be what's left for the business, right? Um, and so now you got to start breaking down all the different functions of your business and all the different hats that you wear, and allocate time and resources effectively to each one of those different aspects. You get to fill in the blanks, you get to build the time blocks. But I'm telling you, like, the biggest mistake I see working with all these SMB owners is that they're not the CEOs of their calendar, right? Their 168 is dominated by everyone else's priorities instead of theirs. So as a CEO or as an owner, right, you have to own your 168. Hello. You have to own the 168. You can't let somebody else set those priorities for you. So how are you using your 168 right now? Are you being deliberate about it? Are you scheduling it out and putting in, your big rocks first? Putting the sleep in, putting the family time in, putting your kids' games in, putting date night in with your spouse? Or is it just happening and you're overcome by life, right? You have to have an elite mindset and approach your business with a plan. I find myself as a fractional executive spending the majority of my time hand-holding owners and creating, basically being an accountability partner for them for simple things like vision and process, because those are the lead metrics and measures for your financials. You have to get that part right first. Otherwise, it doesn't matter what kind of beautiful reports we make or integrations we have with your accounting system. Your financials are the lag measure for your ability to take your vision and chunk it down into bite-sized blocks and goals and then ruthlessly execute on your plan. So let's get after it. I hope this message was helpful for you. I'd love it if you would smash the like or subscribe button and give me a follow. All right, guys, have a good one.